Okay, yeah, I'm still sick, yeah. But however, for those of you who actually enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh and the likes of it, I wanted to kind of show you this duel because I find it hilarious that even when sick, I can still make people tap. Absolute fucking hilarity. Right, let me show you this. Okay, this is me. Alright. Anyone who wants to follow me, friend me, or the likes of it, can play. The game's free. You don't need anything to pay or anything like that. You can get all the premium stuff just by playing the game. It's all fun games, right? Obligatory promo out of the way. Want to go into my replays, right? This is my latest duel. Okay, in the dice rally. This is my latest duel. Easy E, his name was. Okay, and I wanna. Even when sick, I'm gonna make this just because I enjoy the cowardice that came from behind this. So, yeah, and it is public as well, so everyone can see this. This was a cowardly move, and yeah, we're gonna go step by step, and I'm gonna introduce you to everything that happened and even all of the mistakes that I made. So this is gonna be very fun. So, okay, just for clarification, for those of you who are interested, okay, this particular card, I'm playing the Dice Rally at the moment, which is the newest event in the game. This was the card that I got given to start the game off with. Problem is with this card, I don't have any fusion monsters, so I can't use it. It's basically just fodder. That's all it is. Okay. So he starts off first with these particular cards. Now, right here, okay, this card here is a Divine Protector. Level 10 monsters cannot be targeted or destroyed because of card effects and the likes of it. And this is, they contribute any Divine Beast, and they can also tribute a monster on my side of the field. So this works well, especially for the Winged Dragon of Ra, because it basically just means that it will always end up on their side of the field. It will never end up on mine. I'll explain in a moment. Right, that right there. Sphere mode. Sphere mode basically means that it can end up on my side of the field if they choose it to, but right here, it will always end up on their side of the field. There's no chance for it to end up on mine. That's what that card was for. Okay. He sacrifices it, and he brings out the actual Ringed Dragon of Ra. Now, in my turn, I have a selection of cards which aren't very useful at this particular point, but Harpy's Feather Duster gets rid of that Divine Protection, so his God cards can now be harmed if I choose them to. Set two cards down. One of them is a bluff entirely to try and dissuade them from attacking. This card allows them to summon two tokens. Now, this card is one of my favorite. Is basically what I can do is I can stop their attack, and if I choose any other monster on the field, then I don't even know if my mouse is showing up. Is my mouse showing up on that? It's not. That's not helpful. But up there with those two tokens, I can choose one of those two tokens and reduce their attack by whatever it is. Unfortunately, it doesn't work on god monsters, so Ra's attack doesn't get depleted here. But it does stop the attack, and it does stop me from losing half my life points, which is going to be massively helpful later on in the duel. So, Nutrient Z, here it is. This card, if I take more than 2,000 points of damage, then I'm actually allowed to increase my life points by 4,000 before I take any initial damage. This is a bit of a bastard of this card. This card here is what's called an Xyz card. If he has 2 level 10 monsters, which he just did, he had Metal Reflex Slime on the field, and he also had the Winged Dragon of Ra. Both are considered 10-star monsters. Every time he removes a card from his card here, by its effect, he instantly deals 2,000 points of damage. This one's slightly different. Every time he removes a material from this card, he's allowed to increase his attack by 6,000. If it wasn't for Nutrient Z, which has a 1... if I don't know if anyone saw that, that was a 1 in 1,000 fucking usage. This card does not get enough use. It is amazing. It deserves to be in every deck. And that just saved my ass. So, I have literally nothing at this point. Monster Reborn to bring out his Reactor Slime, so that I can then use its effect to then start bringing out tokens. This is what's going to keep my life points in check for the time being. He removes another material, gets another 8,000. Now, this I didn't understand, because this here is what's called a hand trap. If he discards this card at any point, or they, I don't know, he, she, they, if they discard this card at any point during an effect that I use for any of my cards, any of them whatsoever, then they are allowed to completely negate it and destroy the card. This is an absolute devastator of a card. I have no idea why they chose to play it in attack mode. Maybe it was to bait me, I don't know, but it didn't work. Not initially, anyway. So by tributing 2 of these, I was able to get out IP Masquerena. Now, IP Masquerena has a very special effect, where I can immediately link summon one particular monster using the materials that are actually on the field, including this card. But that's also during their main phase. Now, I could have brought out another card at this point. What I could have brought out was this card. Now, when this card is summoned using these particular monsters, the link cards, I can immediately double its attack points. But then it has another effect where I can essentially discard a material from Big Sprite, which is this card here. A lot of this isn't going to make any sense to people, but I'm trying. But I can detach a monster, special summon 1 level 2 or monster from my deck. Essentially what I was trying to do was I was trying to draw out a specific spell card that would have allowed me to double the attack points of that again, and then get another spell card out that would have let me add more attack points. Essentially what I was trying to do was beef this card up to the point where I could have turned around to this card and struck their life points out entirely. I would have won there and then. However, I did something really stupid. I summoned more tokens. Now, by doing this, I can't special summon anything else because the Reactor Slime's ability states that I can't summon anything else but divine creatures. I have no god cards in my deck, so I really fucked it on that turn. By activating this card, I was able to at least get rid of his big monster by sacrificing one of my links. So I was able to kind of bring it back a little bit and eventually start wiping his field down. Now, the big problem that I have here, however, is that now I've got 2 especially weak monsters in attack mode. So if he summons any divine monsters here, I'm in a lot of trouble. Now, I would have been in a lot of trouble with this particular card, however, but like I stated before, you need to remove materials off of Xyz monsters to be able to activate effects. This doesn't have any materials on it at the moment, so I'm safe for that at the very least. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Sacrifice these 2 slime tokens. Bring out IP Masquerena again. By using the Link summon that I was supposed to do beforehand, I was able to get out something called Sprite Spined. Sorry, Sprite Sprined. Now this card literally allows me to take control over any monster that my opponent has, as long as I use a Link monster. Now the Link monster that I used was IP Masquerena. So by using that card to summon this card, I can now take control over one of his monsters. No, hold on. That's not right. No, that's not right. I can send a card from my graveyard from my deck directly to my graveyard. That card was supposed to help me bring out another spell card. Didn't end up working in the end. Spoilers. Now, he activates Harpy's Feather Duster. I quickly, before it gets destroyed, activate Sprite Double Cross. Because I have a ranked, a Link 2, which is what this card is, L2, because this is linked twice, I'm allowed to basically take control over one of his monsters, preventing me from getting my life points decimated. And because my trap card takes priority, I still get to keep the monster. Now, I don't know what his effort was here, but I think he might have misread the card slightly or something. I don't know. But it says here that you contribute this card and then target one monster you control. It cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card's effect. When a normal summoned monster you control is destroyed by battle, while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon it. So my thinking is that what he did here was he thought that it wasn't going to get destroyed. Now, the game doesn't show it. The replay doesn't show it. But right here, it told me that he was having a connection issue. Throughout this entire battle, not once did this particular duelist have a connection issue. Which ultimately leads me to believe that they rage quit because I stole their monster and balked their attack battle. And I think that's just the funniest shit ever. I basically made someone tap because they didn't feel like finishing out the fight. So, Easy E, this is definitely going up on YouTube. I want you to know. Next time, just finish the fight, man. I would have finished the fight. I'm just sorry you didn't. But it was good nonetheless. Good game. I'm happy to have been a part of it. Alright, see you guys later.